William Macharia left Kenya for Rwanda back in 2010, keen to seek for opportunities after he lost his job in the agribusiness following the 2007-2008 post-election violence.
Well, from an initial income-earning opportunity of hawking shoes on the streets of Kigali, William now runs 2 agribusiness companies employing hundreds and exporting horticultural products, including sweet peppers, chilies, cherry tomatoes, and English cucumbers to different states within the East African region and Europe. He spoke to Citizen TV's Waihiga Mwaura from his farm in Busegara district in the eastern province of Rwanda about sustainable farming in the midst of one of the worst droughts that the region is facing. Take a look.
As East Africa battles one of the worst droughts in 4 decades, farming activities in Rwanda continue to thrive, thanks to favorable climatic conditions in certain parts of the country and government interventions. It is in Kigali where we meet 46-year-old William Macharia, a Kenyan who's lived in the country for the last 13 years.
After the 2007-2008 post-election, all those kind of things that happened in our country, I lost my job and I came to look for opportunities here 2 years later in 2010. I used the bus from Nairobi all the way to Kampala, Kigali. It's 24 hours journey. It's not easy. I figured it out what things I could bring along to make my life bearable here in Rwanda. So I went to Kariako and bought some Maasai shoes for women. And during the day, as I was looking for opportunities, I would hawk them around. And I got some money to keep me going. One day, as I was hawking around in the city, I went across a boutique that was owned by a Kenyan, and I sat there and I started reading some magazines, and that's how I got the address to Bolton. They were not looking, they were advertising, and then I got the address and I applied for a job.
On these rolling hills of Busegara district, eastern Rwanda, 25 kilometers from the capital Kigali, is where he set up Sunripe Farm Rwanda in 2016 for the growth and export of vegetables.
We provide quality produce to our customers out there, and also to ensure also that we are providing produce that meets food safety standard. I've created over 300 jobs in this farm.
The team grows habanero chilies, sweet peppers, English cucumbers, sweet melons, and cherry tomatoes. On another section of the farm, they practice open field farming, where they rotate potatoes, cabbages, and French beans.
We are doing like 500 kilos of sweet pepper, 800 kilos of tomatoes, about 500 kilos of habanero chilies, and also we are doing French beans, about 2 tons per week for export.
About 60% of the farm's produce is sold to fresh produce companies who export to the European market. The remaining produce from the farm is sold to high-end hotels and supermarkets in Busegara and Kigali city. In 2019, the National Agricultural Export Development Board of Rwanda estimated that Sunripe Farms generates at least $100,000 or 13 million Kenya shillings every year from vegetable production.
For us, we start from the market and then we do the production, rather than do the production and look for the market. So that concept, we've learned it from our partners in Netherlands, that you begin by learning about what the market needs.
One of the reasons why horticultural farming thrives in this area of eastern province of Rwanda is because of the good climatic conditions for 9 months out of the 12. They also have very good fertile soils and an abundant and hardworking labor force that makes successful farming here a reality. Rwanda's economy remains predominantly dependent on agriculture, with nearly 90% of rural households involved in small-scale farming on small pieces of land, according to the World Food Programme. Irregular rainfall, drought, floods, pests and diseases together with limited land for agriculture, are some of the factors that the government has had to deal with.
Wamehakikisha ya kwamba mashamba kubwa ya serikali watu wameungana kama kwa cooperatives ambayo wanapewa mawaidha pamoja, wakiwa pamoja, infrastructure inaletwa pamoja, na hapo wameweza kulima wakiwa group na kuuza kwa serikali. So hii tunaona iko na faida sana.
The IGAD Climate Prediction and Application Center has predicted drier than normal conditions in parts of Rwanda, forcing farmers like William and his team to be more innovative in how they store and utilize water.
Try to mitigate some of those challenges. Like you can see, we've planted trees outside along each block. We are also harvesting a lot of water in case it rains, so that we can be able to reuse that water. So greenhouse is a component that you can use to harvest water and maybe mitigate on the challenge of scarcity of water.
According to William, cartels and brokers here are kept at bay by cooperative societies that support farmers to get their products to the market.
Hapa kuna hizo vitu vya cartel, kila kitu inaenda kwa mstari na kila kitu inawekwa wazi, kwa hivyo unajua pahali yuko na pahali utaenda. So hapa kuna hiyo shida. Wanaingia kwa cooperatives waweze kuuza bidhaa zao wakiwa pamoja kuliko mtu mmoja auze peke yake.
The trained educationist who has a diploma in agriculture believes that greenhouse farming provides his land with a buffer against the effects of ongoing harsh climatic conditions in the region. The father of three has his sights set on setting up a similar establishment in Kenya, where his agribusiness dreams first began. Waihiga, Mwaura, Citizen TV.
Zifunge, komeza.